Dear friends, welcome to today's presentation by GemSpace Group of Companies hosted on Monday, September 1st of 2025. As always, we meet with you every Monday, during which we summarize the results of the previous week, as well as the upcoming plans for the future. Alexander Kochanovsky, member of the Board of Directors of GemSpace Group of Companies, speaking. Good afternoon, dear colleagues and friends, and today we will be giving a presentation of our business and its digital products, as both directions have immense plans for this year that are already being implemented. September 1st marks a new beginning. Well, today, our new working week and the autumn season has officially begun. However, for our project and its digital products, it's not just a phase or a new streak. We have the same products, the same goals and tasks, but the way we are moving forward is definitely changing. This is the essence of what we do and how we do it, and I wish to share these updates with you today. Today, we are going to discuss our two main projects, GemSpace Super App and our B2B, B2G products, which are sharing a common goal. So let's take a closer look at them. Our first product, GemSpace Super App, is a global multifunctional application that has now evolved to the state of being a true super app, as it includes many features that will expand even more this year. We have specific developments regarding this project's exit stage, which I will also discuss in further detail today, as well as we are now receiving more requests for regional versions of GemSpace from some countries of the world. Our second product at the same time is GemTeam, a secure, sovereign corporate messenger and communication platform. It is a new market for us, but we are entering it thoroughly prepared, with a solid foundation of having built a global application that is GemSpace today. Over the past 2 to 4 years, the demand for secure and sovereign communications has significantly increased, as this is a rapidly growing market and we realize that we can seize our niche in it, because in the coming years, thousands upon thousands of companies and government entities will switch to secure communication systems that only they control. In fact, this season became a real breakthrough moment for our two products. We sold the very first license for GemTeam's sovereign communication platform to our first client. Although we believe that considering we only launched the product a year ago, this progress was incredibly rapid, and the results were indeed impressive. Naturally, this success was based on the first license, and we are confident this autumn season is going to be very profound for us in this direction. As for GemSpace product, you've probably heard about the very positive changes happening for the B2C direction lately. Changes marked by explosive growth in organic user base, rate of growth we haven't experienced at any point in our development to date. Now this is connected to a series of events in certain regions of the world, and I will also discuss this aspect in further detail now. Moreover, our focus vectors for development in 2025 continue to remain the same and be pursued by our teams continuously. They are naturally different because the applications we develop are different. For GemSpace, our team is focused on increasing functionality, which in turn boosts the number of its users. As for GemTeam, we are expanding into new regions and seeking out clientele, maintaining the current inertia in the GCC region with current clientele and establishing new ones, while also searching for new ones in other regions of the world. I would like to depict some analytical charts starting August 11th using our dashboards. There is a dramatic surge in the number of calls made within Russian Federation. An absolutely explosive increase, 100 times higher than prior to August 11th. And of course, many of you know the reasons behind this, as there is currently a ban on voice calls through WhatsApp and Telegram messengers in Russia, and previously calls on Viber were also stopped, and soon this will happen with these services as well. Naturally, users start looking for alternative ways to make voice calls, which is why the number of calls shows that they are finding our GemSpace. Importantly, we never had any direct advertising in Russia, and still, this indicator shows something truly important. It represents true organic growth, which we do not purchase or drive with paid traffic. Now, this natural growth genuinely fills our hearts with joy, as this is the spirit of confidence that we are on the right path and our extensive preparation was not in vain. Moreover, I also wanted to share a few more charts showing the growth in application launches, as this trend is visible not only in Russia but worldwide. You can clearly see month to month how globally it has developed. If you consider roughly the same time period, the entire month of August shows an increase. Additionally, the number of Android installations is also impressive. While there is a drop at the end, because as always the number drops on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday typically are slower, but then it rises again on Monday. And of course, the growth in iOS installations is thousands of times higher compared to before, and this makes us truly happy as well. Users come to us and they like how the application works. Since it works well for them, these graphs clearly show our success and accomplishment. Most importantly, I wish to emphasize that once again, this is completely unpaid traffic. These are not purchased users, these are organic users, which means that the first users arrived already began using the application, and naturally through this process, the so-called word of mouth becomes happening, as new users come in again organically because those who like using the application recommend it to others that they know. So, from these charts, we only see the beginning of this process, as it is clear that it does not complete within a week and it takes much longer. We also see that everything will move much faster. And today, seeing the rapid increase in the user base not only from Russian Federation, but also from the CIS countries and many other nations across the world, in the second place today is United States, followed by Germany. After that, various European countries including the Netherlands and others. Since this process is currently occurring on an international scale, to fully support this growth and to accommodate everyone interested in our application, last week we made an executive decision to focus the efforts of nearly all of our developers and related staff on the B2C direction, in order to solve the most urgent challenges needed to sustain this growth, such as transitioning from Google servers that we've relied on for a very long time. Now, this is a very costly solution, and we need to transition to our own system, and this process is now nearly complete. We are currently enhancing our audio and video conferencing as well as the streaming system. Our team developers are also accelerating efforts to improve the user interface, which in simple terms means making the onboarding process much more fluid and prompt, as there's always room for improvement, which is why we also appreciate your ongoing feedback. We receive requests, which we analyze and then work on improving our user activation system accordingly. Moreover, at this time, activation is currently carried out through SMS messaging. I wanted to point out that the cost of one OTP SMS message is 29 cents. So when 1 million plus users join our GemSpace platform within a short period of time, it costs us close to $300,000 solely for activation OTP SMS messages, and this task, of course, we must address through investment inflows as well as technical improvements. In the nearest time, we will introduce a voice system to identify new users when they download GemSpace. The OTP code is dictated verbally to a new user, and this solution is much less costly than the current SMS OTP we utilize. And in a couple months, the teams will also be reassigned back to the original respective roles. We are not shutting down the B2B direction at all, where just some employees will be reassigned to certain B2C tasks for the time being. Today, more than ever, our opportunities for rapid growth depend on investor support. Only by increasing the amount of funding will we be able to dramatically increase the number of users of our GemSpace application. This is exactly what we've been waiting for a long time, and now is the time to maximize the positive effects of this current process. So let's continue our discussion still while we have the business presentation ahead of us. Moreover, GemSpace and the key prospects that we currently see for it include mini apps, fintech, and Web3 direction. Now, these terms might seem new or unfamiliar, but as we mentioned previously, it is essential for us to pursue these directions in order to make the project exit as smooth and beneficial as possible for our shareholders. So let's discuss mini apps in further detail, and to do so I wish to give you a brief comparison. Essentially, mini apps can be best compared to the construction of a major shopping center. This center can house hundreds and thousands of retail outlets, service and entertainment companies meeting all user needs in one place. Essentially, our mini app platform is very much similar, a digital version of such a shopping center, as GemSpace encompasses a single application, like the mall, with mini apps being shops and service providers within its ecosystem being independent third parties. In particular, to enable developers of various third-party services to easily deploy their solutions on our ecosystem, we of course need to create a platform to support it, our mini app engine, that would serve as a foundation for a robust ecosystem. We already have a powerful ecosystem established to support it, making the process fluid and prompt, as building such a platform is a complex process, as mini applications are dozens of times easier to create than full applications, and an additional advantage for companies and third parties that bring such mini apps to our GemSpace is that they come to an existing vast user base. Now this, of course, immediately improves the key metrics for our mobile application, so the strategy is a win-win for both sides. Developers can also launch their apps on our platform, enabling a mutual exchange of users, not only those on our platform who were there before, but also users of those individual mini applications that came along. So this is the platform we have already begun to develop, and we are actively working on it, as the very first version of this engine will be released quite soon. But why are we creating such a platform? As this approach has seen greater development in Asian countries already, it doesn't mean that we will exclusively develop it there, but rather that we are taking inspiration from these platforms. In recent years, we have seen the development of applications like Alipay and KakaoTalk, Gojek, Grab, and others, all emerging from Southeast Asia. They demonstrate how quickly both user numbers and financial metrics can grow once they implement mini app platforms, as some have dozens of mini apps while others have up to 400,000 mini apps like WeChat does. Mini apps represent the rapid growth of our application and its ecosystem, driven by an influx of developers and services that accelerate financial metrics and lead to explosive growth within the user base. By understanding this tendency, we are developing the same platform for our users. However, unlike the aforementioned Asian applications, each of which is tied to a particular country, we see our major advantage in creating this platform that is not limited to a single country. Instead, it will be used in any country and region around the world, which increases its value and allows us to launch the system globally. Additionally, alongside this platform, we are also showing other developers or service owners why they need to join our platform, and they will do so because they will see that other mini applications are already operating on it. Thus, we are developing our very own first mini apps and will soon be launching them. These are the 4 areas we are currently working on creating the mini apps for, as GemSol is already available as a bot, and despite the large number of mobile applications available today, there is still a huge number of people who are lonely or just people looking for social connections online. There are interest clubs, chat groups, and so forth. Whereas in our application, when someone joins GemSpace, their contacts are not automatically imported from their phone book, and the application doesn't have enough acquaintances for them to facilitate enjoyable communication. Thus, GemSol Mini App is designed to instantly connect users with conversation partners based on their shared interests. It is a separate technology, but we are actively developing it as we speak. The second mini app currently in production is GemPay. Our team is creating a digital wallet that gradually, step by step, will enable users to work with cryptocurrencies, buy, sell, pay with crypto, and to manage fiat funds across various countries and regions of the world. All the necessary financial operations for modern users are also being integrated, such as P2P transfers. And of course, Minigames is yet another platform on which it is not just us who are developing the games, but instead we provide this platform to third-party developers who create many kinds of games and are looking for existing audiences. And lastly, but definitely not least, Web3. And I will discuss it in further detail separately, as it is quite a unique direction. Our GemPay is a wallet that we are creating on the platform so that our users can manage their finances, have their own digital wallets at their convenience, upload their funds, and then use them to buy, sell, or simply transfer the funds and receive the funds from other users on GemSpace. At the same time, companies that come to sell products or services understand that they need a convenient way for users to receive and transfer funds easily. And it is important to note that cryptocurrencies will initially be provided as regional solutions, as the regulations of cryptocurrencies are varying across different regions of the world today, but our goal remains the same: to connect as many regions of the world as possible for convenience of our users. Furthermore, Web3 might seem quite complex at this time, but just like with transitioning from button phones to smartphones or the emergence of crypto transactions, these digital innovations are gradually becoming part of our daily lives. So similarly, Web3 is a powerful, ongoing process that is bound to become part of everyone's daily lives, and we recognize that it will reshape how we operate long-term, attracting new users. As part of the current Web3 adaptation efforts, we are redesigning our mascot. Now, this upgrade will make it more voluptuous, appealing, and interesting, as designers are working on it as we speak, and it is bound to be ready very soon. This is how we are shaping it, including for Web3 users and all of us. According to forecasts by analysts at Lucidity Insights, by the end of 2025, the number of users of crypto products will reach 1 billion people. We see our developments such as Web3 capable super app that provides access to this next generation digital technology, and we note that Japanese Line is also heading in this direction, as is Telegram. Our goal is to become a Web3 super app in Asia and beyond. A place where creators can gain entertainment, play games, earn, and so much more, as we aim to transform our GemSpace into a Web3 hub with entry points for NFT drops, training, earning, cryptocurrency transactions, various tools to engage and retain users, and so much more. In today's internet, whatever you search for, whether it is in a particular item or opening an email, all of that is being monitored, and at the very least, you receive targeted advertisements thereafter. Today, we all use Web 2.0, which is centralized internet where all data is stored and is accessible if need be. All of our actions through the browser and email are tracked and stored, and companies sell this data. And there is a saying that the internet remembers everything because certain messages or images can exist forever online since they are stored. Essentially, Web3, however, is a decentralized system that prevents user data storage and tracking. It is not quite widely used yet, as these terms as cryptocurrencies, NFT, and others are shaping the new internet, especially in Southeast Asia, Japan, and South Korea. Many companies and sectors are emerging there rapidly, and this is why we see it as one of our strategic directions that we are currently pursuing actively, as we consider this very important and truly promising. Cryptocurrency, of course, is the digital currency which mainly exists online. We've been hearing about Bitcoin ever since the last decade, and then Ethereum, and now things like stablecoins and digital currencies like the digital yen, dollar, and other fiat currencies are also emerging. Whereas our goal is to develop a platform where these cryptocurrencies can be used and utilized at convenience of our users. And now, I wish to turn to the diagram I've previously shown several times because I wish to draw your attention to the final part of GemSpace project, the exit stage. Today, our B2C project is in the final phase as we've started global expansion beyond small regional markets. Now comes the next stage of the technical relay. It is the most coveted. Now, though not the easiest, needs to be done quickly because there is truly a lot to accomplish. But nonetheless, we are ready and prepared. As our main strategic goal remains the same, at this stage we can review the three options for our exit in more detail. Of course, sale of the application remains the main strategic goal, and we continue to pursue locating a strategic buyer during business trips, during which we engage with them as we strive to depict strong financial results and cash flows. But I would like to draw your attention to the fact that today you can see how the world is changing significantly contrary to globalization, when the market were widely open and capital flows were freely moving between countries. However, today there is a reverse trend towards the closing off of regional markets from one another. Nowadays, countries consider their sovereignty and independence from one another as their top priority, and our IT products recognize this fact and deliver on it. Through calls, text messages, and emails, everyone understands the convenience. Yet these countries and private entities truly highlight the importance of managing the environment in which, whether it is their citizens or employees, are communicating, to ensure that it is not controlled by some outside third party who may or may not have access to sensitive information. Of course, we believe you understand the notion that we are depicting, and in that respect, this is what we mentioned earlier as well, as in July we already received 2 purchase offers. They weren't at the price we were seriously willing to consider, but the mere fact that these offers came from Europe at those prices was noteworthy for us, making it hard to deny. We see that Europe is also considering having its own regional European messenger, where European citizens can communicate, with Europe itself wanting to control it. Everyone wants to have control. Therefore, we see an opportunity here through sales of a clone of our Space application. Not the entire application, but specifically cloned features for an individual country or region, and we see that there is a demand for it. So we simply continue developing our application and engage with companies or government entities that understand these tendencies and seek to have these capabilities. Of course, this is the first exit option, sale to a strategic buyer. Now, the second exit option from the perspective of mini apps, making our application appealing to hundreds and thousands of companies, especially regarding the organization of financial flows. The income from these financial flows in our Space application greatly exceeds the necessary amount required for further development and for supporting the promotion of the application continuously. Therefore, if we generate such income flows, and since we create everything to achieve them today, we understand that these incomes can and should be paid as dividends amongst those individuals who invested in our application. Hence, we see that in this regard, at a certain stage, we will be paying out dividends to owners of Class A shares, as this is an option that today became a highly possible outcome at the current stage of development. And thirdly, an initial public offering also remains an option. Although it is a complex and fairly lengthy process, lasting from 1 to 2 years, it is still feasible provided there are financial flows. However, we are not considering to proceed in this direction at the moment, as we highly need to establish stable financial flows by monetizing our application firstly. Thus, we are moving towards the mini app engine launch with Space and the goal of reaching 50 million plus users, after which we will proceed through the following audit, and then choosing one of the 3 aforementioned exit strategies. And now, our second product that we are actively developing today in the B2B and B2B sector is Team. Team solution stands for convenience of familiar messengers, combined with the highest security and reliability requirements of major international companies and government agencies. As this is natural, but everyone understands that security of widespread messaging applications today is far from perfect. That is why we have created a fully sovereign solution that stays on premises of our clientele, and we offer it as a product for small, medium, and large entities as well as government agencies. The platform is not hosted on global servers, but instead is deployed on physical or private cloud servers of the particular organization, ensuring complete isolation of communication and data shared amongst the employees from the rest of the world and any unauthorized access with malicious intent. Considering what is currently happening in the world today and what we constantly see about hacks, breaches, data leaks, and related events, the demand for applications of such nature is only increasing. And the fact that all data stays either on the cloud or on the company's physical services under their control is extremely important today. Therefore, we are using our solution to enter this market sector. GemTeam application is already created and is operational, and as the result, we are now specifically implementing our market penetration strategies across the globe, including Qatar, GCC countries, Central Asia, and Southeastern Asia. Short-term plans for the B2B and B2G platform involve multi-tenancy, which is already available, that allows to service our various clients completely isolated from one another, as well as autonomous video conferencing systems for external users to be able to join an ongoing call on a one-time basis. Test platforms are launched and are currently undergoing testing in several regions of the world by our clients at this time. Everything that we do has a cumulative nature, as we are targeting other regions of the world that are seeking solution of this nature, including Central Asia, Southeast Asia, and others. We are aware of our capabilities and how we can achieve this through implementing our technologies. Importantly, on July 12th, we had an extraordinary event as the very first licensing contract for GemTeam's sovereign communication platform was executed successfully. First and foremost, it shows that this year is significant. The first sale already took place, and the dividends were issued to the shareholders accordingly. Whereas the most important aspect is that the gateway has now been opened. And now, not after the first license, sales of licenses will last forward even more. We operate simultaneously in many countries accordingly, as our business development specialists are working hard on attaining new clientele and improving and spreading GemTeam. Therefore, with GemTeam, we are building the future of secure and sovereign communication, as this is a huge market with very few players, and we have the experience of creating GemSpace ecosystem and the professional approach of our team behind us. Therefore, we are moving quickly and attracting additional funding by offering more shares to our investors, because everything needs to be done fast in this market sector. The only notion I wanted to point out is that Class A and Class C shares are different types of shares. Class A shares are for GemSpace B2C direction, and Class C shares are dividend-bearing shares for GemTeam B2B and B2G direction. However, please note that there is a limited number of Class C shares, as dividend payouts have already initiated, and at the rate of its development is increasing, soon will be sufficient for self-financing further development and its marketing promotion. In conclusion, as of today, GemSpace Super App has users distributed across 176 countries of the world and counting. Our key indicators are the growth in the number of downloads, and we are approaching our goal of 50 million users quite rapidly as well. The application's most recent independent valuation concluded at 1.6 billion. Although we say that our current valuation isn't very high just yet, we believe it should be much higher, and it is increasing through our daily efforts, which is the main indicator. Thus, 2025 will be the most exhilarating year for GemSpace and GemTeam, as these products are not just technology. Instead, it is a long-term strategy, carefully calibrated tactics, and rapid implementation. Our team is constantly scaling both products to unlock their potential in growing markets where digital transformation is particularly relevant and demand for localized and secure solutions continues to grow. Our market is highly profitable. Our approach is systematic and forward-looking, so our goals are very much achievable. Now is the moment when participation in the project becomes particularly of value. And on this note, I would like to thank you for your time thus far, as I am now passing the word to Valery Ostrikov, member of the Board of Directors of GemSpace Group of Companies, who will continue our conference today. Valery Ostrikov speaking. Dear friends, good afternoon. We are continuing today's conference, which is news focused because there are truly many updates. Most importantly, today I would like to address how our team addresses turbulent times in the world and maintains clear strategy forward across all our digital products. Reading the daily news has become frightening. It's been this way for a long time, and such events truly mark an era of intense informational warfare and convective strikes that they bring about, because people lose their sense of direction. They feel that if they've lost it, then basically the world is sliding into chaos. As Mr. Kuchanovsky has just depicted previously, we understand where we are heading. Our main strategic goal is GemSpace product, especially the enormous niche opportunities that opened up for us, not only in Russia, but also in the United States, Germany, France, and other countries of organic download trends, as we have encountered only one problem. We urgently need to find resources to accommodate to a large number of people due to the OTP activation fees, as activation messages will cost us everywhere in the world, especially now with growing demand. This is what enables our continuous development. This is our product development strategy, developing Gem Team B2B and B2G direction that directly supports the main GemSpace B2C direction financially. In other words, we have a clear-eyed strategy that there will always be space available for a neutral platform like our GemSpace, and we are already seeing the fruits of this strategic approach. Unfortunately today, the era of living in a calm and quiet harbor is gone for good. What happened was the financial markets, for instance those who follow the Dow Jones Index in the United States or indexes in Europe or Japan or the composite indexes and so forth, point to the fact that we have entered an era of ongoing financial turbulence. We have encountered a period of permanent turbulence affecting all systems. Financial, political, and social conditions can unfortunately change at any moment. This means that if your stocks in the stock market are not properly diversified, your risks are not well managed. For example, if you invested in certain assets that can quickly become worthless due to political and economic changes, they are quite volatile. And investments in the future need to be of a certain kind so that they don't turn worthless or enter a value freefall. In other words, what should investments be like, considering current factors? They should be somewhat stable, defining a new kind of stability in the new world. Investments made under these conditions must meet the criteria that they will not simply disappear, will not change, and will not lose their value significantly. Of course, the ideal scenario would be invest in assets with zero volatility. As in our case, the value of GemSpace ecosystem has been steadily increasing over time, despite market fluctuations or global changes. In other words, together we have created an asset that offers stability comparable to the world's leading currency with minimal volatility. As you can see, the current global situation is such that the value of our asset is rising, yet we are not increasing our advertising efforts. And this is the new main currency of the world, stability. Why did this happen? Because we respond to very important events and trends that exist in the market with our total adaptability. We are developing a digital platform, an asset, an investment that you are involved with, one that moves and improves quickly. It adapts to the needs of different regions of the world. As about a year ago, we introduced a completely new direction, GemSoft, which is B2B and B2G solution. We understood that global trends would develop exactly this way, creating a huge demand for secure communication technologies that are sovereign and can be hosted on-premise services in cloud environments controlled by clients. This shows our adaptability. Within a year, this product was created, scaled up, and we've been doing marketing and promotion in select regions of the world. At the same time, our B2C direction also continued to simultaneously develop in parallel. The value of Class A shares is growing right in front of your eyes at this time. This is the situation that has developed and will continue to develop worldwide as tens of millions of users are coming to us, and we need to accommodate them. We are making enormous technological efforts to ensure GemSpace works smoothly, supporting calls and video calls because people gather there to hold conferences. Of course, it costs us energy, effort, time, money, and the involvement of our specialists, even distracting our best experts. But we understand that right now we will endure in this competitive struggle as it unfolds. At the moment, 1 million people joined our GemSpace platform. Soon, tens of millions will be joining, and we will capture the niche in markets that used to be held by WhatsApp and Telegram before, as all of this is made possible by our complete adaptability. Additionally, another very important notion is of course our collective mind. We live through this collective intelligence as we have faced all of our hardships and have overcome them together. Now, with the help of our leaders and the collective mind, together with you, we will overcome the challenges that has come upon us. The key point is that we clearly understood our business mission. We must create an independent platform where people can exchange thoughts and messages, where exchanges of information flows, funds, money, and much more can take place. This is a properly chosen mission. It goes beyond simply gaining the best competitive advantage, as there is a complete adaptability, total flexibility, and beyond that, we have managed to build stability like a new leading global currency. Adaptability is the key, but ultimately, this mission is of course above money. In conclusion, I wish to add that what I am discussing today might seem quite simple. It is a straightforward plan. And yes, complex plans are very hard work because they require a lot of adjustments. We concluded that a fast, simple, and clear formula is the strongest competitive advantage, and our market niche is all simple and clear. The key is to develop step by step, leveraging our competitive advantages. And as I mentioned earlier, combined with our collective intelligence, we have created with you the most attractive investment opportunity. As on this note, I would like to thank you for your time thus far, as I am now passing the word back to Alexander Kachinovsky, the member of the board of directors, who will finalize our conference today. Alexander Kachinovsky speaking. Dear friends, let's now finalize our highly informative conference today with weekly news and promotional updates. We have a small but important task left, figuring out how to turn all that, our plans, our ideas and achievements from the past month, into future success. And to do this, let's review our current promotions. Firstly, please note our conferences and their schedule for the upcoming few weeks. If you have any questions for the board of directors, the team of our marketing specialists, and developers, kindly submit them in a timely and diligent manner to our support team in order for us to prepare answers in time. Moving on, here are some major and important updates. Our strategies for progressing towards our goals are built upon the successes we mentioned, including starting from July and August, specifically regarding GemTeam and GemSpace projects. Kindly be advised that prices of GemSoft packages are going up by 5%. This increase is an absolutely inevitable part of the process. And indeed, it is unavoidable, as this is the nature of any venture project. At the very early stages, investments sometimes start as low as $1,000, and investors receive substantial returns for their commitment. Those who are early investors and support the project get more shares and better positions, while those who come later pay more for their shares and get less favorable terms. Such increases also depict the approach to completion of the project. And here you can see the cost of regular shares alongside the costs associated with the special discount when using one's dividend account, which at this time is 50%. Moreover, the unique opportunity during which investors can use funds from their dividend accounts to purchase GemSoft business packages at discounted prices is valid until September 8th. Let's also discuss the current promotions, where we have some good and some bad news. First and foremost, the bonus package of shares promotion is still valid for you to enjoy. A kind reminder of the hot season promotion, during which, when purchasing 2 GemSoft business packages of the same kind, the partner and their sponsor did receive additional complimentary packages of Class C shares. However, unfortunately, this promotion has now come to an end. But in other positive news, please welcome the new fixed bonus promotion, during which, when sponsoring the sale of any GemSoft business package, the sponsor, regardless of their status, will receive a fixed number of Class C shares, the same number as the buyer. Please note, business packages purchased from a dividend account are not eligible for this promotion. The buyer will receive Class A shares and Class C shares in accordance with the current marketing plan. The sponsor will receive not the standard number of Class C shares according to the marketing plan, taking into account their status, but a fixed number of Class C shares equal to the number that the buyer receives when purchasing a particular package. Now, this promotion will be valid until September 15th. And on this note, we would like to thank you for your time today as we continue our dedicated effort towards shared success, specifically in light of the growing recognition and tangible progress of our B2C, B2B, and B2G solutions. So until we meet next time.